Welcome to the Black Script Storytellers. My name is Kevin Marable, and today our guest, you may know him from the hit series The Family Business on BET and Netflix. He is the son of actor Stan Shaw, who is also on The Family Business and has quite a few projects under his belt and many more to come. Sacaiah Shaw is with us today. Sacaiah, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed and highly favored. I appreciate you for having me on today.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, Sakai, there is a question that I like to start off every interview with. It's a very simple question, but some might find it difficult to answer. Are you ready? All right, that question is, who is Sakai Shaw?
Who is Sacaiah Shaw? Let's see. I I did sports in school. Was an athlete all through school. I started doing musical theater. I'd say around the age of 12. Um, I was homeschooled up until high school. I'd say that's probably where I gained some of my. I mean, I like to think I have a good moral compass. I feel like I have a very strong, prominent character, and I'd like to credit that to both my parents and my siblings as well, and just the rest of my family for instilling all that in me. Um, and yeah, I decided I wanted to get into acting and in the theater in the world of entertainment around the age of 11 and 12. I was ensemble in my first musical at the age of 12. It was Hairspray.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, after that, I just kept doing community theater. I did drama club in high school, did a lot of plays through that. I got into college on a theater scholarship. I went to California Lutheran University. I did theater all throughout there, and while I was there was when I ended up starting on the family business was my junior year
Oh,
at Cal.
wow. Okay. Okay.
And that
So,
brings me up to here.
uh,
Yeah.
okay, cool, cool. So you are the son of the amazing Stan Shaw. What was life growing up as the son of a famous actor?
Well, honestly, I mean, I don't know any other upbringing, obviously, so I can't really compare and contrast with complete clarity. But
Right.
um, I mean, I didn't really. It's kind of weird. I didn't really know like that people like knew him. I didn't know. I mean, like growing up, I didn't know what famous was. Obviously, like when I was like a little kid, I didn't know what famous was.
Mm,
I never really put two and two together that people in movies were also like people in real life, you know. And then I'd obviously seen his movie posters like around, but I never really like thought about it. And then I was just like, well, what are all these posters? He was like, oh, I do movies, this, and that. He started telling me about it, and obviously, like I noticed that a lot of people know him. Like we go out,
yeah.
people recognize him in the airport, restaurants everywhere. So it's. I began to realize, like, yeah, he might be onto something here. He might have done something that I'm
Yeah.
not privy to.
Yeah. You were
And
used to
yeah,
it.
yeah, I was used to it. It just always happened. And yeah, we
Okay.
started talking entertainment, like the industry, probably around the time I was like 12 or 13, and I really got
Okay.
serious about it because I asked him. I said, "Hey, I want to be an actor. How do I get started?" And he said, "Come back to me in a year if you still want to," and didn't even tell me. So I had to wait that whole year, and then I came back and I'm serious about it. So he got me started.
Right. So at around 11 or 12 is when you decided that you wanted to become an actor and you were for sure about it. And so at that point you started to pursue that craft. Um, what was some of the first things that you did to begin to pursue that as an actor?
I think like what I said. My first memory of like any sort of audition experience ever was the audition for Hairspray. I went to it was through the AVPRT was the theater the community theater program. They're still going on to this day. Love everybody in that program. It's a great program. Um, yeah, I started there. Went to a warehouse over in Palmdale. Did my audition there. I didn't know anything about acting at all. Like I didn't know anything about musicals. I didn't know anything about how you were supposed to do. So people are all over here singing show tunes, and I don't know any show tunes. So I go and I sing John Legend, and they're like, "Okay, well, he likes to sing. He's not an actor." So they put me in the ensemble. I did a lot of singing. It was really fun. It was my first experience being on stage, and then I saw how other actors help themselves, not just like in the setting, because obviously I'd never seen my dad actually work before. So it was like,
Right.
yeah, and once I got probably 2, 3 plays under my belt. I started watching like all of his movies and just got really into movies in general. I guess yeah. Just from there. I mean, I kept doing theater, and I treated theater like that's the other thing I did. I treated theater as though it was a training grounds
Mhm.
for film because I won't say I knew I was gonna get there, but I was just like, there's no plan B. That's gonna happen, and that's gonna happen, and that's what it is, and that's what it is. You know, it's like
Now you're on the fourth season of The Family Business as Kenny Duncan. Can you
correct.
tell us a little bit about your character on the show, and what your role is?
Um, well, Kenny's here to stir things up. That's definitely one of his main goals on the show. He's very headstrong. He's got a lot of underlying issues. He has some unresolved abandonment issues from when he was a kid. He's afraid of losing people. He has a really interesting relationship with his siblings. I think he idolizes his big brother, wants Curtis to think he's cool. He
Mhm.
butts heads with Lauren a lot because they're kind of they're the closer siblings. So I like to think that Kenny and Lauren were growing up like all the time together. She used to beat him up and stuff like that. And I think that there's like that little butting of heads there.
Mhm.
As far as Nini, his mom, he loves his mom, but he wants to kind of keep her removed from all of the violence and the hustle and bustle of everyday life for him. And as far as his father goes, Larry, he just wants Larry to be proud of him and he wants to be able to do whatever he can to help Larry get to where he needs to be because he knows that Larry has his best interests at heart.
Right, right. A lot of real life family dynamics there, with the sibling rivalry and to wanting to make your parents proud and to do the right thing, but also navigating life as as it is, as being being a young adolescent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I like to bring
Yeah,
that energy and that youthful fire to all of the violence. I feel like it it makes for a good contrast as opposed to all of the
yeah,
stone cold blooded killers on the show. I like to bring a little pizzazz to it.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so what has it been like working with your dad on set as well as the rest of the cast? What's that like?
Dream come true, man. It's the I mean, I've been acting for about 10 years now, and I've
Mhm.
been in the industry, like doing projects with other working like actors, directors, writers, etc. Since I was about 17 was when I did my first short film when I was 17. It was called Blind Love under the direction of Chuck Che. I love that film. It's hard to get, but I like it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's the best time. It's mind blowing. It's insane. It's very addictive, and I love every second of it. I appreciate every second of it. I'm trying to soak up as much experience and knowledge and wisdom and little nuggets of everything everybody says. I take everything to heart. I just try to remember everything. I'm
Right,
having a good
absolutely.
time of my life.
Yeah. And you're also going to be a part of the spinoff, the Family Business New Orleans. Can you talk a little bit about that show?
I can talk a little bit about that show. We're still filming
All
right
right.
now. I'm almost done. Um,
Okay.
it's great. It's really great. I'm so excited to see it come out. Everybody's doing such a phenomenal job. I love everybody on that. It's just like a process. It's kind of like just continuing family business on, and it's just great to be able to continue working with everybody and to be able to see everybody all the time, and to be able to just have that family connection and just foster that and still be able to make magic on screen together. It's phenomenal. I honestly haven't seen any of it. I've seen like maybe a total of 12 seconds of footage from New Orleans, but man, it's gonna be a killer, man. I can't wait for it to come out. We put a lot of work into it, and it's gonna be great. And Carl is writing his ass off. It's part of
Yeah.
my
I'm sure.
Carl writing, man. Carl's a machine, man. He does not sleep. He's
Yeah.
crazy. I love
Yeah,
that.
and it's dope that we're now getting a spinoff, and I like the fact that Carl is actually working on the family business universe, so to speak, and starting to branch out
Hands
and
on. I see Carl almost every time I'm on
build
set.
that world out even more.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Um,
he's got a great vision for it, and he's always there. He's always got his hands completely in the project. Like you always see him. He's always walking around talking to everybody, and he always has time for writing. I don't think he sleeps. But
he's superhuman.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Well, I'm looking forward to the Family Business New Orleans as well. I know you probably don't have like a release date or anything like that, but I'll definitely keep my eyes and ears peeled to see when that happens to come about once they finally make the announcements and everything. But
Absolutely.
congratulations on landing that show as well, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you're also in a film called 1992, which stars Tyrese Gibson and the late Ray Liotta. Can you talk a
Yes.
little bit
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. I was only on set for one night. I had a very small role. I was working with Tyrese that night and Christopher Emmanuel, two phenomenal actors, by the way.
Hmm.
Yeah, I had a great time. I was, like I said, I was only there for one night, but I was there for probably maybe 9, 10, 11 hours. And
Okay.
we were downtown. We had blocked off about 3 blocks downtown around MLK, and yeah, we were doing it about the. It was the scene. The scene that I was in was about the riots while we were, smashing through the windows and messing up all the storefronts.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a really crazy experience to be able to work with them because, like I said, I was only there for a night. I wasn't main cast, so I wasn't really like, with everyone as long because they had just gotten back from Bulgaria right when I got there. So everybody was already tight knit. Everybody was like a family, and I had just pulled up, and I was, doing my work. I wasn't like, acting on like fanning out or anything, but
Yeah.
I do remember the first time I saw Tyrese. It was just like kind of crazy. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I was like, yeah, yeah. I mean, he was a very nice dude. He was very cool. He had his whole crew with them. They were all very nice and super chill. Everybody on the project was amazing. I had a great time with that one as well. It was just super fun, super fun.
Yeah, that's dope, man. And um, I haven't seen that film, but it is interesting, and I'm glad that we're starting to get some films that actually depict what happened during that time and how prominent it was, and it was definitely a pivotal moment. For us for the LA riots and Rodney King beating and all of that. And I feel like those stories need to be told.
No,
Um,
absolutely.
and more awareness needs to be brought to the forefront, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'm sure that movie is as riveting as it was, actually living it, and seeing it on TV and knowing what was going on at that time.
And yeah, I still don't even think it's available in the U.S. yet. I think it's getting here this year for sure, I believe. Um,
Okay,
but yeah, I haven't fully seen it either, but I've read it and it's amazing. It's incredible. It's very good.
okay, yeah. Well, I'll definitely be on the lookout for that as well. Um, Metanoia, what
Yeah.
is that about?
That that's a it's a short series that my friend Gabrielle Rublin did. She wrote it and directed it and starred in it. We did this in school in college. It was sort of like she had already graduated, so I won't call it a student project. It was a legitimate project. We did it for about 4 years actually. Yeah, started my
Wow,
freshman year and finished right before I graduated. I had a great time on that show. Honestly, I'd say it was my introduction to episodic material, and the
really?
writing was great. Yeah, I was all of my friends, everybody that I went to school with and did the theater program with, all of those super talented people. Uh, yeah, I had a great time with it. Honestly, uh,
Yeah.
it
And
was
so
really
that
good
that
to be able to, because I hadn't been on Family Business yet by that time, so I wasn't working super consistently. At
Mhm.
the time, I was just doing a short film here, a short film there, I, and yeah, it's exactly what I wanted to be doing. And I was in school, so it was perfect timing for me. And we were filming a
Right.
lot around where I live anyway, and around campus, so it was it was really cool. It was easy on the schedule, and we were all able to work around each other. We were all able to, kind of, we had a little bit of leeway room with the project, so it was really fun. It was cool to be able to do something like that with a bunch of good friends.
Okay. Okay. And then you're also a part of a podcast, which is called Birds of Empire. You play Rune in this series, and so this requires you to do some voice acting.
Some voice acting, yeah.
Um, yeah, what's that experience been like for you?
That experience has been really cool. It's the first time I've been able to really immerse myself into like a fantasy world like that, and I kind of like to imagine it sort of like almost like an Avatar: The Last Airbender type of thing. Like I was talking to Jason, the creator of it, and I keep telling him he needs to make it into a cartoon. And
Yeah.
he's always got something going on. I know he's gonna do something crazy with it, and he's already has like the world that he's built is just so vast and immersive and detailed. You know, and he's really got this whole lore going on. And it's crazy to watch him work for real. And yeah, I love being in the studio. The last time I was in there with Jock Hollyman, and that was the first time I had been in there with the other actor before, and we had
Okay.
a lot of really good chemistry going on, and it was just a great time. That second time that we went back to film the next season, it was it was just completely different. And the first season was so fun because all the sounds are in your ear and you can hear it. And if you
Yeah.
close your eyes, you're just really immersed into the world. And then you just just go, and it's a great time. I really love that project.
Okay, so while you're doing that, you can actually hear everything else around you. You're not just recording your vocals. You're actually living within the environment at the same time that you're stating your piece.
Right. Well, you do your vocals first, just blank slate. You're obviously, well, the first time they had Jock record his lines before I got there. So I was listening to him to the pre-recording of him talking. And the second time we went in there, they had sort of like the ambient sound effect, and then Jock is in the booth right next to me, so I'm like looking at him, and he's doing his thing, and we're just kind of bouncing back and forth off of each other. So
Okay.
it was just a really cool vibe.
Okay. Yeah. I was just curious to know how that works because I've seen in, like especially when you're doing like animated series and whatnot, some of the other folks that I've talked to who've done voice acting, a lot of times they'll just go into the booth and it's just them and it's just them, going over their lines or their sides. And they don't hear anything else. They don't hear the dialogue or the back and forth. And so I know everybody does it a little different, and you have to get the timing down and be able to
Right.
say things, and bounce off of each other. So I was just curious to know how it was that you guys, you know, came to do this.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. The first time, definitely, I was just listening to the recording of him, so I was bouncing off of him, but he wasn't able to obviously bounce off of my work because he wasn't there. But the second time, Jason was able to be in the room with us, and he was able to give us both direction at the same time, and just kind of like walk us through
Mhm.
what he wanted to see from it, and then still let us play with it. And since we were both in the room, we got to just kind of bounce off of each other, do a little bit of improv, go off script, just a little bit, have a little bit of fun with it. And it was really cool being able to work with them like in person like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now I'm gonna ask you a few little questions about acting and how you kind of get into character and whatnot. But when you're acting out a scene for the first time, what do you do to connect with your scene partner?
When I'm acting on a scene for the first time, well, usually we'll go over it before we get on camera, just a couple times just to make sure we got it. And then once we get on camera, I
Mhm.
like to do something that jars the other actor. I like to do something that they're not expecting me to do, so it forces them to react on their toes, and then it pulls something out of them that they weren't planning on doing, and then that in turn pulls something out of me that I wouldn't have thought to do unless they did that genuine natural reaction, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and people do that to me too. It's just I just love working with other actors because they can just yeah, people do things you don't expect them to do, and then you have to just react to it, stay on your toes, and kind of just hop back around. It's like playing. I love it. Um,
Right.
and yeah, I'd say we like to get our lines down first, get what we mean down first, know what we're doing, and then be able to really not so much focus on the words rather than focus on the emotions and the feelings and the and the point that you're trying to convey. And then when we go about it like that, it makes it feel really natural and back and forth. And then you can see our relationship like and the chemistry between the actors and the characters, and it shines through. And you can see, I mean, because we're all very close, we're tight knit family by this point. I mean, I've been here for about 3 years now, but this is like 5, 6 years in the making. So we're all super tight, and it's just, the banter is just, it flows naturally, and everybody's having a good time, everybody's laughing, everybody's having fun. We're hanging out before, we're hanging out after, so it's just, yeah, it's a great time.
As you continue to grow as an actor, what are some of the types of roles that you would love to play?
It's a great question. Um, my theater teacher used to tell me in high school that I should play a superhero because of the way I walk on stage. But I think that would be cool to play a superhero at one point. Uh,
Yeah,
I think I definitely want to do a comedy heavy role, like a comedy heavy movie. That would be really fun because I love my comedy chops. I've done some comic relief roles on stage before. Never on camera actually. Really, I mean Kenny's kind of funny, but uh, yeah, I would love to do a comedy, just a straight funny movie. Horror, I would love to get into horror.
really.
Horror is one of my just little hidden passions. I love horror movies. I would love to hop into one, and then of course just anything that takes me to the jungle. I would want to do adventure action, just like a real Dwayne Johnson movie, just
Yeah,
right in the
yeah,
middle of the forest somewhere. I feel like that would be really cool. Yeah, just action, suspense, thriller. I want to do it all, man. I want to do everything.
yeah. No, that's dope, man. And I could definitely see you in some of those projects as well.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
for sure, for sure. Now, do you have any techniques when it comes to memorizing your lines? Do you do anything special?
Well, my dad has this technique that he does that I use. I kind of picked it up from him. Is read through the script, read through it a couple times. Um, Now, when you're really first memorizing it, I kind of just try to get line by line. I try to know what I'm saying line by line, but I also know where the story's going, so it would make sense that I would say this after. And Carl's
Right.
really good at writing that way too. That he just writes the way people talk, so it's like after the next line, it's like obviously this next line comes next.
Yeah.
So it's not too hard to pick up. Uh, I usually memorize it before I mean to. Like I'll be going for a goal and then I'll memorize it on the way, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, that's nice. But then when it comes to like memorizing it and being able to speak it and say it, what I do is I like to have someone in the room with me. I'll read the script. I'll have them be on script, and I'll have them be on script and like keep me, and I'll be speaking it. And if I mess up, I go back to the top of the entire when I start talking. And even if I'm like almost at the end, I mess up one
Mhm.
word, all the way back up to the top. And it's a good way to keep yourself accountable, to make sure that you don't mess up any words, or to make sure that you know what you're supposed to be saying, so that if you do end up improving, you can improv around the point you're trying to make. If that makes sense.
Right. Outside of that, I know you probably have many projects going on. What's next for Sacaiah Shaw?
What's next? I am working. I've got a couple things that are about to get off the ground right now. I can't talk too much about them yet.
Mhm.
Um, there's two projects that are sort of in pre-production at the moment, so we're working on those. And then my friend Reed Sharp actually is getting. He just wrote a movie for me.
Wow.
My friend Stone Sharp. We're gonna do like a little buddy cop film,
Okay.
and the script is still in writing, but it looks really good at
Yeah.
this point. So I'm excited about that one for sure. And as far as anything else, that's the next three immediate things that I've got going in the immediate future. So I mean, anything else? Hey, if anyone's watching, I'd love to be a part. Please hit me up.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Well, Sakai, at this part of the interview, I like to give my guests the final word, whether that's a piece of advice, words of encouragement, or a quote that they like to live by. You can say all three, or you can pick one of the three. It's up to you.
Mm. There's a quote by Leonardo DiCaprio I like to remember a lot. It's success is when preparation meets opportunity, and that's what I try to embody my
Hmm.
entire in my professional life and in my personal life, and that's what I think that I think that's a good thing to live by. So that's what I leave. Success is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yes, and I know you're prepared. You're already successful. You're going to continue to be successful, and you come from a line of success. So
I
um,
hope to continue
much
it.
respect to you. Huh?
I said, and I hope to continue it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I most definitely wish you much success, and I will be rooting for you from the sidelines, watching you in all your projects, and upcoming projects as well. And yeah, no, I truly appreciate, um, you coming and joining this episode and giving us some of your knowledge and your expertise and your time. Most importantly, thank you so much.
Absolutely. I appreciate you all for having me on. I really love what you guys do, and I'll be watching too. I'm definitely a listener now. You got me. So
Okay, cool, cool, man. Thank you so much. Sacaiah Shaw, everybody.
thank you. The Black Script, everyone.